Good evening, everyone, and welcome back into EVINE Live. I'm your host, Heather, and I am so excited because right now I am sitting in the studio apartment of the infamous, world-renowned makeup artist, Sonia Kashuk, who is a very dear friend of Cindy Crawford. And the reason that we're in New York right now is because we are launching Becoming by Cindy Crawford. And for any of you that have heard about this book and think that it's just about a journey through modeling, that would have been enough. Getting into those studios, working with those world-renowned photographers, this is really an inspirational message. This is about being an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, a mother, and I could not be more thrilled for all of you to see inside Becoming Cindy Crawford. Now, if you love her skin and you're thinking, gosh, I want that entire package, the book is fabulous. If you want to add on Meaningful Beauty right now, we are going to save you $5 off from the Meaningful Beauty kit. Both of them are going to ship for free, and we're going to have you all set up for gifting and really for a great story about how Cindy became Cindy Crawford. And without further ado, I want to welcome in entrepreneur, businesswoman, supermodel, mother, and wife, Cindy Crawford. Cindy, welcome into EVINE Live. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you. That was such a nice introduction.
Well, thank you. Very worthy, very worthy. There are so many people that have been waiting for this book, and so I want to start by asking you, why a book and why now?
You know, I never really imagined doing a book like this. But a few years before my 50th birthday, I was having lunch with my publicist and another woman that I've worked with for a long time. And we came on this idea of, you know, how do you not dread turning 50? How do you look forward to it and celebrate it? And this idea of, yes, I wanted to celebrate my career as a model, and all the pictures in the book are that. But I also wanted to celebrate the lessons I've learned along the way that aren't just applicable for me, but also lessons that I would want to teach my own children. Things like learning to say no or taking chances. They're not just about how to strike a pose.
I think that that's what was so exciting about Becoming was we have this image in our mind of, first of all, what you're going to be and who you are. And then in the pages of this book, we get to find out that throughout your life, you've felt insecure. You've had to take risks. You've looked back and thought, I wish I had taken more risk, which I think was surprising. I'd love to know, overall, what are you hoping that people get out of reading this book?
Well, I hope the pictures kind of draw them in. I feel like that's the candy or the sugar that will help the medicine go down. But then I hope maybe they stumble upon one picture and then they start to read what I've written, and that they are lessons about, I mean, you said I've been insecure. Of course, I'm human. I don't know a single person who doesn't have days where, you know, they feel like they might not measure up, and how to get through that. So I hope there's some lesson in there for someone. And if you're just a photography fan, I think you're going to love the part about all the different photographers. But if you're a mother or a wife or a businesswoman, there's things that I've learned that maybe can help someone else along the way.
So much. I mean, there are so many great lessons, and it's interesting because when you think of it, how many American icons can transcend so many different genders like this, and so many different generations, and so many different ages. This is a book that my grandmother would love, my mother would love, my daughters would love. I'm sure that's exciting for you.
Well, I wrote it knowing that, you know, the people that grew up with me are closer in my age or maybe a little bit older or a little bit younger, but I wanted my fans to also want to share it with their daughters. I mean, I really thought about that, as I am the mother of a daughter myself.
Absolutely. I do have to ask one question about a particular picture, because there's exactly one photo in this book that required some level of body modification. Can you take me back to shooting this?
This is the first cover of John Kennedy Jr.'s magazine, George, and he asked me to be on the cover, which was a huge honor. And a favorite photographer of mine, Herb Ritz, was shooting it. You know, and I thought, well, how are they going to make me look good as George Washington? I mean, that's not the easiest thing to do. But the funny thing was, and these things happen on set sometimes where you're like, let's do this, let's do that, and then someone had the idea of shoving a sock down my
seemed like a good idea at the time.
My jumpers, whatever those pants were. We ended up retouching it out. It does not appear in the final cover, but when I've seen unretouched pictures of that, you see that
probably one of the most alarming unretouched photos you've ever seen of yourself, right? I want to move into talking a little bit about Meaningful Beauty, because the story behind this is so powerful, and I actually was listening to you speak recently, and you said, with celebrity comes a certain responsibility. Being a celebrity, I can get eyes on my product, but it always comes down to product being first and quality.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think, you know, as a model, I've modeled for companies maybe that, not my thing, like I've had to wear dresses on runways that I'm like, not not something I would maybe wear in real life. But to put your name on a product is a completely different thing. And in doing Meaningful Beauty, it was a relationship that I had had with a doctor, Dr. Sabah, the famous melon doctor.
Yes,
now
yes.
everyone knows, they're like, what's with those melons? But really, it's not about the melons, it's about the ingredient in the melons that is a super antioxidant. But I had been working with him just as a private client since I was 28 years old. And when I was 35 and I wasn't able to get in, I wasn't in Europe as much, I would joke with him, let's bottle this stuff. And it took a few years, but that was how Meaningful Beauty was created. And I kept saying to him, I want the products to be meaningful and simple, like all the things that I as a woman want. I don't want to be constantly chasing the new fabulous thing. I want to know that I'm taking care of my skin. I have a simple system I can use every day. I've got antioxidants, I've got protection, I've got hydration, I've got peptides, all those things that we want, and I just want to then forget about it. I want to do that in the morning, I want to do it at night, and not be worried that I'm not, know that I'm good. I've taken care of myself.
Right, and can I just talk about an opportunity at affordable skincare for a moment? Because there are a lot of you that may be watching us for the first time, and if you've heard the story about becoming Cindy Crawford, and now you're looking at this and thinking, gosh, I know for certain that's the best value that I've seen in the marketplace, because the book is really, really a great value. You can get that Meaningful Beauty, add it on right now. You're going to save an extra $5 off. We have something at EVINE that's called a value payment. Let me tell you what that is. You can actually get the book home and the skincare right now on a value pay for less than $8. So I want to encourage any of you that are stocking up for holiday, are gift giving, you're giving a power of a message of empowerment and of beauty, and at an extremely affordable price.
And I always talk about meaningful living, really. And I think that when you take care of yourself and you feel good about yourself, it brings out the best you. You go out in your day and you hold your head a little higher, you have a little bit more confidence in a meeting or whatever your day holds. I mean, that's why beauty matters, really. It's not the beauty in and of itself, it's the confidence that we feel when we know that, we have a good haircut or a cute pair of jeans or whatever.
You know how we strut when we have a good hair day?
Yeah,
right?
Oh, absolutely.
When you leave,
But I was joking with someone recently, it's like, even at 49, almost 50, I'm still waiting for that perfect haircut that I'm going to be able to roll out of bed and not do anything, or the perfect pair of jeans, right? It's just like, it's the next pair of jeans. It's that elusive thing that we all keep waiting for. But certainly when you have it pulled together and you're having like hey, I've got a cute outfit on day, you have more confidence.
So can I ask you, what were the first changes that you saw in your skin after using Meaningful Beauty?
Well, I don't know how to, I always say, and it sounds a little cliche, but when I first started seeing Dr. Sabah and he gave me his first vitamin treatment, I felt like my skin came alive. It was like that feeling you feel like if you have a green juice or a glass of fresh juice, it's like you just feel like energized. I was 28 when I started seeing Jean-Louis, and then I was 35 when I started developing Meaningful Beauty. So my skin was just starting to change. It's definitely fatigue from flying. You know what, I always had to wear concealer before, and after using the eye cream, I just noticed I was using concealer less. And then as time has gone on, I keep saying to Dr. Sabah, okay, we need something for this now. We need to address, now I'm seeing maybe the elasticity or whatever. So I feel like my skin definitely, it looks youthful. It has that glow.
Your skin is absolutely glowing, and you're wearing very little makeup.
Thank you.
A part of the book that I really enjoyed, because I think it's so true, is we grow very, very close to our makeup artists and to our hairstylists. And towards the end of the book, I think that you pay a beautiful homage to them. And I want to read an excerpt off from page 251. And keep in mind, when you get the book home, you are going to absolutely love the stories. You share so many personal stories. You say, but the makeup room is also the place where I could talk about the fight that I had had with my boyfriend, or about feeling homesick. There, the tears are dried and the friendships are cemented, so that by the time I step onto set, I felt invincible.
It's true.
And with that, I want to welcome in dear friend, makeup artist, the woman who knows all the secrets behind Cindy Crawford, Sonia Kashuk. Sonia, it's so good to have you here.
Thank you, a pleasure.
I know her secrets too, though.
Okay, good. So this is a mutual secret deal that we have going on. All right, can you take me back 30 years ago when you two first met? I want to hear about the shenanigans back in the day.
Well, we met actually back in the Midwest when I was still modeling in Chicago, and Sonia was a makeup artist in Minneapolis. And I think, you know, Sonia has 3 sisters and I have 2 sisters, but when we met, it was instantly like we found another sister. And Sonia moved to New York a little bit before me, and I camped out on her couch for 3 months until finally she was like, I think you need to get your own apartment here. But I just felt so safe, and I wasn't really ready to commit yet. And I mean, we would both do our things during the day, but then we would have dinner together every night. We went to the gym together. We just were inseparable.
I think, you know, for us, we had each other. So if you had a friend to conquer New York and we were both new, you had someone to go to dinner with. I had someone to go to the gym with, a movie. So it just made it completely different, and it just felt comfortable for both of us.
I want a glimpse into what it's like to have best friends like this. So Sonia, I want to ask you, what is one of the most exciting or maybe humorous memories that you have through the years with Cindy?
You know what, I don't think it's humor. I mean, to me, it's just having a friend. When you think, like, we both laugh when we're saying 30 plus years. I mean,
we're like, can you just drop 10 years? Could you just say over 20?
But I mean, the loyal, and to be there through, you know, wedding and children, and it's just, it's so special, and it's always funny for me because as a makeup artist, it was always almost hard to, because I love her and her face and her soul, and she's such an extraordinary human being, that it's very different when you're, it's just the soul of Cindy, which has just been such a huge part of my life.
And I think also for me, because in this, fashion isn't always down to earth, let's say, but I always knew that Sonia was going to tell me the truth. There was one person who knew, like, so would my mother, but she didn't know New York and the photography. So Sonia was like the perfect person to help me navigate, yes, the world of the fabulous world of fashion, which we both have enjoyed, but also would help keep me grounded. She was like my touch point in New York.
Oh, I love to hear that message, that this wasn't necessarily just about the professional relationship, but more about the human relationship of women supporting each other. And so that message is the one that I think everybody is going to enjoy so much out of this book, about empowering women. But at the end of the day, you do still know each other's secrets. So I had an idea. Sitting right next to you, you're going to find whiteboards. And I don't know if you all remember the old game, the Newlywed Game. Yes? Okay, yes. Okay, so let's take those out. We're going to play a bit of a speed round, and no cheating.
We don't know each other in that way, though.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. So the first question is, will Cindy say she prefers boxers or briefs?
Am I just writing what I think, or, okay.
You write what you prefer. Okay, let's do the reveal. No. That is the kind of secret. Thank you so much, Sonia. Cindy, this was so much fun. And I want to encourage all of you that are interested in a wonderful story, an inspirational message, not only behind the scenes in New York City, cutting edge, everything that you've always wondered about the modeling world, but so much more, an insight and a look at a woman, a mother, an entrepreneur, the one and only Cindy Crawford. Thanks, everyone.